y'all, this is my rhetorical analysis speech for Dr. Poole's online public speaking class, and here we go. There are three main advertising techniques that people use to persuade people to buy what they're selling. Whether that be Pathos, Logos, or Ethos, they all three work together towards the same goal, but in different ways. And a good way to kind of start out to show you what that all means before really getting into each of them are three teenage friends trying to go to the movies together, and they all three have to convince their parents to let them go in a different way. So the first one, being Pathos, would be tapping into that person's emotions. Whether you cry in front of your parents and beg them to go and make them feel bad and let you go, that could be an example, or even waiting until your parents are in a good mood, knowing when they tick, and so you can go and tap into their mood. It's all about emotion. It's being persuasive and making them feel like they want to let you go. So the second one would be Logos, which is using facts, and the way a child may present that to their parents would be things like, well, this is the time the movie starts, this is when I'm going to be home, I'm not going to do this, this, or this. Tell them exactly what's going to happen, and using facts like when it starts, when it ends, when I'm going to be home, the time frame it gets from here to the movies, things like that, to convince them to go, to let them know that you're not going to be out all night or whatever. And the third would be Ethos, which is a credible source. Somebody like a parent who's going to chaperone, or an older sister or brother that your parent knows. Somebody that your parent knows who they're going to say, oh yeah, okay, I know that person. I know who you're going to be around. I like that person. You can go. So it's a good way to look at it, kind of understand it in a more simpler term or way. So the first one to look at is Pathos, and Pathos is the one tapping into emotion. And I think a lot of people think it's just happy or sad that people use, but it's not. It's a lot of emotion, and it could be things like nostalgia, or even just making someone feel powerful. Like if you want them to get out and vote, you may say, oh, like, you should feel like you're doing something, and they are, but that's the way that the persuasion is making them feel. It's tapping into emotion, making them feel a certain type of way. And it's important to know that it's not just, oh, they feel happy when they're doing this, or they feel sad when they watch this. It's different things. And I think that's one thing that people get confused with, I know I did, was it's not just happy or sad. It's a lot of different emotions. And the second one is Ethos, and Ethos is a credible source. As stated previously, it is using a lot of ads. Use famous people, I've come to realize. A lot of ads, whether they be print or commercials. Famous people are a good way, because people for some reason believe famous people, and they want to believe famous people in whatever they're selling, but a lot of times it's not true. But it is something used a lot, and you can see it as soon as you turn on the TV. A good way to see an example of why it's not credible, but why people believe it, is Instagram. You can see, or just social media in general, people will post ads without facts or anything in the comments or whatever. It's just a picture of them holding the product and making it look like they use it. But in reality, they probably don't, and a lot of people are persuaded by this. Their favorite singer likes this type of drink, so they're going to go and buy it. But just because they like it doesn't mean you'll like it. But people believe that, and they believe it wholeheartedly. But it doesn't always have to be a celebrity. It can just be someone you know. A good example of this that I'll show a video of later on is the Geico commercials. The little lizard in that commercial is it's someone that people have seen for years and trust in for some reason. And it's a good tactic to use, honestly, because a lot of people believe who they want to believe, and if they like somebody, they are typically going to do what that person does. It's just what happens. And a lot of this with Ethos has to do with confidence in delivery. I think a lot of the times the people in the ads act very confident and show how they use the product or whatever, and it's convincing people. A celebrity's not gonna be like, oh, I kind of like this product, when they're getting paid a bunch of money to say something nice. The third is Logos. So Logos is using facts and studies and just statistics that are real and true, And, well, I don't know if they're always true, but it's what helps persuade people to buy it. And again, I go back to the Geico commercial because it's stating, oh, if you call and change this, this is what's going to happen. This is a fact of what you're going to save. I think another good example of this would be, I know the Verizon phone company or something like that. One of the cell phone companies said that if you switch to them, they'll pay off your bill at the other place. And that's a fact. They have to do that if they say that. And I know that Red Bull got in trouble because they said Red Bull gives you wings in their commercial, but realistically, it doesn't. Red Bull doesn't give you wings, so they got sued and had to give everyone back the money they had bought for their drinks for a while. I don't know if you can still, but you could send in something on the internet and get a refund for the drink you had because it was false advertisement. It wasn't a fact. So I thought that was interesting. So here are my ads. Let me move that out of the way. So here's the first one, and this is a still ad, and this ad is using, first of all, we can obviously see it's using Pathos, and there are several here that we can look at. If you look at this one, it's a little girl with a horse on her wall, and this one is an elephant being taken out of a container, and it's just all these prints. They're tapping into people's humor. They're making people laugh. It's funny that a horse is on the wall because it's not realistically true. This isn't a fact. So it's not using, logic. It's not using logos. It's using Pathos. And it's not really using Ethos either because there's no credible sources here. This is a funny ad that's using Pathos to tap into people's humor. So that's that. And here I'm going to play this video for everybody.
Geico's been saving people money on car insurance for over 70 years. And who doesn't want value for their dollar? Been true since the day I made my first dollar. Where is that dollar? I got it out to show you.
Was it rather old and wrinkly?
Yeah, you saw it?
Fancy a crisp?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Okay, so that is, let me exit out of this. That is a perfect example of all three. And the reason it is all three is because it is using, first of all, Pathos. It's using humor. Again, this is another humor-based one. And I think a lot of them are based on humor. But he's using, first of all, it's a lizard. What's not funny about a lizard? A talking lizard. But also the fact that it's using his first dollar bill on a bag of chips. That's funny. It's tapping into people's humor. The second, using Ethos. So the lizard is somebody they're like Gecko or whatever, has been around for a long time. People know this, like, iconic person who's been in these commercials since I can remember. It's someone they kind of look to see in these commercials. It would be weird if you saw a Geico commercial and the lizard was not there. That wouldn't be, people wouldn't like that, I don't think. So it's the credible source part. It's not a celebrity necessarily. It's not even a real person. It's a lizard. But it's a credible source. And I think a lot of times people confuse that too because, again, I know I did. It's not always a celebrity. Sometimes it is just a credible person who these people look out for. And then for factual evidence, for logos, 5 minutes, what did it say? Let's watch it one more time.
Geico's been saving people money on car insurance for over 70 years.
So right here, it's been saving people money on insurance for over 70 years. That's a fact. That's how long they've been around and how long they've been working.
Who doesn't want value for their dollar?
Fancy a crisp?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is a perfect example of a fact. This is factual evidence. This is things that they have done statistics on or whatever. They're saying this because they can, because it's a fact. And this is going to convince people to do so. First of all, the 70 years is credible. It's saying we've been around for a long time and we're credible. You should believe in us. Same with 15 minutes could save 15% or less on car insurance or more on car insurance. It's saying you could get something done in this amount of time, which is a fact. I don't know if necessarily every time you would get 15% or more on car insurance. I don't know if that's necessarily true 100%, but it is tapping into a fact. So that is using logos. And it's important that this ad is using all of these because it kind of shows not all of them are going to use every single one as we saw in the print ad, and that's not realistic for every single ad you see to use all three. So if you are looking out for some, you should look out for specific ones because most of them are not going to have all three, but they are going to have at least one. It's very, very common. These tactics are used a lot of the times, and it's something to really look for. It's kind of fun almost. I remember when we first got this assignment, I was looking into the commercials and things like that, and you can really look for these things in things like commercials. Commercials generally show a wide range of all three of these. So that was logos, pathos, and ethos, and I hope you enjoyed.